News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Pablo shooting suspect now in custody. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It is Thursday, December 17th, 2015. Right now, after the big, not a big snow, but it certainly was a messy one. Lots of slide-offs, accidents that occurred yesterday. People trying to get home from work in the commute. It was a mess. Right now, it's cloudy and 20. Road crews have been out all night working very hard to get the roads in shape, and so things are looking pretty good right now. However, all the roads around western Montana are snow-packed and icy at this time. We also do have a report of an abandoned vehicle on U.S. Highway 93 South northbound passing lane near the Lolo curves, so please be aware of that. Our newscast this morning, sponsored by Damaris Buick GMC, Missoula's People's Choice new car dealer, serving western Montana for 50 years. The woman suspected in a shooting that occurred in Pablo Monday was identified yesterday as Ashley Huanicorn. Lake County Sheriff Don Bell said a warrant was issued statewide for her arrest until his office received a tip yesterday on the suspect's whereabouts.
Through a tip that came into the Lake County Sheriff's Office, the undersheriff and the detectives were able to track down Ashley Ray Huanicorn in a Browning residence. We contacted Glacier Sheriff's Office and the FBI, and within an hour of that notification, she was arrested in Browning.
Bell said Huanicorn is in the process of being returned to Lake County to face several outstanding felony charges.
My understanding, there's a good chance that she will be returned to Lake County tomorrow, pending any problems with the warrants. But we have several felony warrants for her, and working on the paperwork to get her extradited to here.
Bell says Huanicorn was arrested without incident. The shooting victim is recovering at a Kalispell hospital. Billings police officials say officers asked an armed man whose face was covered by a scarf to leave a park during a rally to support the city's small Muslim community. The Billings Gazette reports the man was openly carrying a weapon as he stood near a stand of trees watching Saturday's gathering of about 150 people. A scarf covered most of his face in the 25-degree weather. Women wore hijabs during the rally to show support for Billings' 50-person Muslim community. Lieutenant Casey Hafner said police were called after people in the crowd spotted the man. Officers asked him to move along, and he did. Hafner said the man did not break any laws, but he did comply in light of the event that was being held. A Missoula burglary incident has been solved after two suspects were pulled over in Idaho. The burglary in Missoula took place in November when a homeowner found a strange man at his home impersonating a police officer. Here's Sheriff's Office Public Information Officer Brenda Bassett.
The victim reported that a stranger was in his house with a handheld radio and a gun, and he pointed the gun at the victim before he fled the house. And then officers went to the area and searched and weren't able to locate any suspects. Well, then last month, the pair that were tied to this burglary in Missoula were arrested on a traffic stop near Boise.
The two suspects are 57-year-old Michael Baker and 27-year-old David Moore. They've been charged with several crimes in multiple states, including Oregon, Montana, and Idaho, but they appear to have started their spree in Florida.
Upon closer investigation, they actually found numerous stolen items in that vehicle. Firearms that were taken from the 26th Avenue burglary were included in those items. They had marijuana in their vehicle, burglary tools, firearm possession of a convicted felon, obstructing an officer, possession of a controlled substance. There are obviously numerous charges.
As there is a connection with the 26th Avenue burglary, as serial numbers on weapons found in their possession are the same as reported stolen here in Missoula. A former officer at the Dawson County Correctional Facility has been found guilty of sexual assault for allegedly having an intimate relationship with an inmate. The Billings Gazette reports that Christina Marie Boisdos was convicted yesterday of felony sexual assault without consent and other misdemeanor charges. Montana state law says inmates cannot give consent to sexual contact. Dawson County Attorney Olivia Reiger said Boisdos began a relationship with inmate Jeffrey Keskis earlier this year. She is out on bond awaiting sentencing. Yesterday, Federal Reserve Chairwoman Janet Yellen announced the Fed would raise short-term interest rates for the first time since they bottomed out in 2008 during the Great Recession. According to Montana Bureau of Business and Economic Research Director Patrick Barkey, the interest rate change will be felt in Montana, even if it is just a small quarter of a point hike.
Montanans are savers and investors and borrowers just like anyone else, and the markets for all of those things are national. The Federal Reserve's actions will show up or start to show up in everything from mortgage rates to car finance rates to even rates of interest on CDs and things like that.
Barkey said the larger borrowers, like the $158 million bond issue recently passed for Missoula County Public Schools or the $48 million Parks and Trails bond, will feel the sting of a rate increase more than others.
Numerically, it's a matter of degree. I mean, for a big-ticket bond, like for a school or a road or something, quarter point, half point adjustments are a big deal in terms of the cost of borrowing. Nonetheless, they're still incremental changes. I'm not saying that these are meaningless changes. They're not.
According to Barkey, some of the rate increase may already be in effect, as rates could have been adjusted in expectation of the announcement. But it'll be difficult to know for sure exactly when the change fully arrives. 2 coroner's inquests have been scheduled for early 2016 to determine whether law enforcement agencies acted properly in incidents that led to the deaths of 2 men. The Billings Gazette reports the inquests were prompted by 2 separate deaths in Yellowstone County. In July, 28-year-old Michael Osby of Cody died of asphyxiation in an apparent suicide. The second inquest will be February 2nd regarding Yellowstone County Sheriff's deputies Jason Robinson and Christopher Rudolph, who shot and killed 28-year-old Lauren Simpson. The Montana Public Service Commission rejected a $10.9 million interim electricity rate increase yesterday, originally requested by Montana Dakota Utilities. PSC member Kirk Bushman said the rate increase was requested as an interim adjustment, part of a larger 21.1%, $11.8 million increase under review in a contested rate case before the commission.
It was an interesting vote because the original motion was motion to deny an interim rate at this time and wait till the hearing. And then there was a motion to amend that to allow 50% of the rate to go in as an interim rate. That amendment did not pass, so we reverted back to the original motion was to deny.
Bushman said there could be many reasons as to why commissioners would deny an increase.
Often the commissioners will make comments even relative to what's motivating their decisions. And some of those things might be based on the legal foundation, and other things may just be comments that they add to that. I believe one of the commissioners did, in fact, reference that they were not in favor of raising rates right at Christmas time.
The commission will make a final decision on the rate request in March. Newstalk Times 612.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies today with a few isolated showers. Temperatures will be in the mid-20s. Increasing showers late this afternoon into the overnight hours. We will see areas of snow possibly mixing with freezing rain. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.